Okay, so good evening, all you health coaches, you life changers. This is our weekly coach huddle up, and we do this every Monday. We're now Monday right after the leadership call with Dr. A at 5 o'clock. So right around 5:30 on Mondays. That would be 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 for you, Casina. And we're going to spend some time today doing a little bit of a review of the coach's call. We've been having a lot of leaders advance in ranks. And when somebody gets a promotion, essentially, it's because they've learned enough skills to help enough people to then get that promotion in their ranks. And so we had some people, a lot of new presidentials that have joined. And for those of you that may not know, as you start as a coach, developing your first 5 clients means you're a senior coach. And then there's a few ranks up to what we call executive director. Executive director is basically everybody, even if you're a presidential, you have to actually achieve executive director in order to achieve those other ranks. And a presidential means that you have helped 10 people become an executive director. And so it's pretty powerful. It's a lot of lives that are changing. It's a wonderful thing. So anyway, there are a lot of presidentials. So I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a roundtable here for those of you that watched the leadership call tonight. And was there some things that jumped out at you? I know that one lady talked about spreading the germs, the healthy germs, if you will, of helping other people. And I thought, I love the fact that some of these people that we're sharing are just so genuine. They're just pretty plain. Every time I hear one of these people go, I go, what is my problem? Like, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, I get it. I'm obviously not doing something or doing too much of something I shouldn't be doing, because these people are just so, it seems so simple when they talk about it. Just help people. So if you can unmute yourself and give us a little feedback of what your takeaways were from the leadership call. I'd love to hear what you guys had from that.
I can go ahead and go if that's okay.
Yeah, Rita, you're first. Bessie, you're up second.
Okay, so Vera was the first one that spoke, and I agree that whole analogy she gave about the flu and how this is contagious and it's an epidemic, that everybody should get it. You know, that was the key point that stuck out to me. I thought that was pretty interesting how she had that analogy. And then for Nancy, she did say a lot of things, but I liked the story she gave, and I liked her passion behind what she's doing. And when she spoke about the Health and Hope parties, I just thought that was pretty interesting, because I had thought about doing something like that myself. And so the fact that she mentioned that just made me feel like, you know, that is something I can do. So.
Yeah, for you, Rita, we get with Irv and I, and we'll give you a little bit of structure of what we've seen on those Health and Hope Night, where you just have some people over. Oddly enough, Dawn is kind of a professional at that. She's really good. She's been doing them now for 5 years. I remember her first one, and I remember her last one, and she knows quite a bit about it, actually. So you know Dawn as well, and we can connect with you and give you some tips. Thank you, by the way, Rita. By the way, Rita, one of the things that I'm really, really enjoying about seeing you on here, seeing what Irving's doing, is you guys are there's some, we call it push-pull, where we have these new people that are coming on and are just running, and we're sort of like jumping in the draft, and you guys are like pulling us along and inspiring us. And you're one of those people, and I'm so thankful we get to be part of your team. Right.
Thanks. Well, it's a big thing, and I enjoy all the help that I'm getting from you guys.
Yeah.
Stuff is a big asset to me. So
he is. Yep, he is, and his cat.
And Crunchy.
Yeah, and Crunchy. Yeah. All right, Bessie, you're up.
Yeah, I just have to piggyback off what Rita said. I really loved the energy and being contagious of the first lady. I didn't write anything down. I was driving during that call, and I had the pleasure of meeting Nancy at convention last year, and she's just amazing. And I really feel like just both of them tell different stories, but I think no matter where you're at, you have something to offer someone else and to help someone else and to help yourself along as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it was inspiring.
Yeah. What do you think, Bessie, about the reality that you went to convention? You saw her stand up there as a global director, right? And now you saw her on the leadership call and you knew her. I mean, what was the dynamics there how did that affect you?
Well, she actually, at one of the get-togethers at convention, she was 2 rows behind us. And so I went up and complimented her on her outfit that she had on. It was loud and just talked to her briefly. And then when she was on stage and to hear her story, it was just fabulous. And just to know that it's there, the opportunity's there for yourself, for others, just to be part of this community. And I just awesome. I'm proud of her. I hope to be able to see her again this year.
Yeah. I love that when we go to, if we never went to, you don't know until you go. If you don't go to convention, if you don't go to these different events that we have, you just don't have the experience, and she would just have been a face,
Right.
a neat lady up there talking, but you actually talk to her. She's real. She's a real person, love it.
And the energy at convention is huge. So everybody needs to go.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is a good thing to do. That's so great.
Yes.
Thanks. All right, Tamra, you're up. I'll unmute you there. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Greg.
I can't see your face, but I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got in on that call late. I was having some computer issues and remembered, oh, I got to get on the call. So I got on it right when Nancy was speaking. And it's like I needed to hear what she had to say. And one of the things that stuck out to me, and it brought tears to my eyes because I feel like that's where I am now, but I've grown a lot in the self-esteem part. Low self-esteem, being financially broke and working my butt off to try to make, to support the family. And I feel like I'm the biggest hindrance. The Lord is providing the way. He's giving me answers and solutions, but I tend to do my own thing rather than follow what he has, those solutions. So I'm kind of like the biggest hindrance in my growth as a coach. And it seemed to me that she is really on fire. God is important in her life. And it seems that she has things prioritized. And so that is something I need to do, is prioritize. So that is what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Thank you, Tamara. And one of the pieces there is we talk about priorities, and we're going to talk about that tonight, actually, as we transition into our training session, is if you do the essentials, you won't be too busy. If you do a bunch of extra stuff, you might get too busy and then not have time for the essential things. And with the system that we've been talking on, it's just a simple way to build relationships and make connections with people. And if you stick with that simple plan, it won't be overwhelming or too much. And so then you can manage it. And when you manage it, it's almost like you could plant a huge garden and then have too much produce that it spoils. or you can plan it in such a way where you have never-ending produce. And the system we're going to be talking to you about, in the 3x3x3 system that Dan Valentine and Doug Wood and Terry Miller created, allows you to cultivate in a way that's manageable, and grows, exponentially. So really exciting things. I'm actually, here's a true confession from, well, I've been here longer than all of you. I've been here almost 8 years. And so I'm technically the leader of this team. And I've been mentoring with Terry Miller. By the way, my wife gave her notice. She gave her 2-week notice. So my wife's going to be quitting her job and coming home to work with me. And so I'm super excited about that. And she's going to take a lot of the admin things off my plate so I can do some of the other things that I like. I like building relationships with people. But one of the things I'm talking to Terry about is, she said, you have all this people skills and the management skills and all those kinds of things. What you don't have is the ability to manage your energy. You don't manage your time and priorities and energy well. And so when you're able to direct that properly, you're more powerful in the proper things. And so that's what I'm working on right now, is not doing things that utilize my energy unless they move me in the direction I want to go. And so that's what I'm going to be focusing on here, and just doing the basics and spending your time where you need to. Then this won't feel like another job, because who needs another job, right? So in our discussions about our training tonight, one of the things that I wanted to, I'll just kind of open it up. Part of the big picture here is that if you are interested in helping people become healthier than they currently are, raise your hand, right? Okay, so that's all of us. Yep, nice job, Tamara. Look at her. That was awesome. She raised her virtual hand. That was classic. One of the things, so we're all interested in helping people. And so the first thing is so we're all on the same page. Now we have to go to where the people are, because the way we help them, we could help them all day long. And if they don't know us or don't know we can help them, then it doesn't matter. We just have good intention. But if we are very interested in helping people, and then we go to a place where they are, so they see us, then we can make that connection. We can find the people that are looking for what we are offering, right? And then we make that fine connection. And so for a while now, people have been congregating on Facebook. And so Facebook is a way to connect with people. And so we're going to be talking about some things that Karie has been doing to brand herself and to make connections with people by doing Facebook Lives. So I want to toss this over to Karie, and we'll kind of toss this around a little bit. But Karie's got some pretty neat things that she's been doing, and she even has some examples. If you are following Karie, you will see when she goes live and some of the examples. I want to toss it over to you, Karie, so you can kind of share how this came together. Because I know it wasn't a master plan, but I know when we look back on it, it's like, wow, that's a great recipe. Let's take it away.
Cool. Thanks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, I love people to share, because I definitely don't have it figured out. And like Craig said, it wasn't something that I came up with. Dawn, actually, in her coaching with me and processing, she shined a lot of light on different things that I hadn't been doing on purpose, but were working. So Craig asked me to share. And like Craig just said, our purpose is to help other people. And so kind of while I'm talking, or maybe you already know, maybe identify why you haven't done a Facebook Live if you haven't, or just kind of identifying roadblocks so that you can go past them. Because if you're afraid of it, identifying that and then having a game plan is huge. Otherwise, you'll stay afraid of it and you'll never do it. And like Craig said, that's where our audience can be found easily. It's already there waiting for us. So in my experiences, the times that I've done Facebook Live, it doesn't always go exactly how I planned. And it doesn't have to be something that's super interesting as much as just creating an environment for people to connect, whether it's commenting or likes and just getting interaction going with people. So sometimes it might be health related, other times it isn't. And yeah, primary reason. What's that?
There was a lady, Carol Hips. Have you guys seen Carol Hips? She's been on a lot of the leadership calls. She just went to Integrated Presidential. Her most watched video was her in the bathroom putting on her eyebrows. What's that have to do with health? Nothing. Yeah. But it was a way that people connected. They watched it. They commented on it. When they commented on it, it's like somebody saying, "Hey." And then what would you say if someone came up to you in a room and said, "Hey"? You would probably talk to them. Well, that's what Facebook does. When you someone sees something that you're doing that they think is interesting and they comment, then you talk, and then pretty soon you've got so much to offer them, they don't know it. And so that's the whole point of a Facebook Live. It's, Terry Miller told me that the video that she has had the most views on, she lives on a houseboat, and she was doing a Facebook Live of them moving a houseboat from one place to another. And that was the Facebook Live that she has the most on. Nothing to do with Optavia, health, or anything, but she connected with people. So it doesn't have to be health related. Right.
Well, I think that it makes the connection with the comments that you can have a live video about something completely different. And then if you're intentional with the 3x3s, you're gonna feed into before and afters, the healthy recipes, water challenges, whatever, and people will see it without you having to try because you've connected on from a different perspective.
So let's break that down a little bit. So as you're posting 3 times a day, you post a before and after picture. So that's now part of your messaging, your brand. You post a healthy recipe. You post, an inspirational quote or just something fun. So those are things that you sprinkle in throughout your day that are part of your brand. And when you do a Facebook Live, and they comment on your live, then you will show up in their feed, because Facebook shapes and chooses what your friends see that you post. Not all of your friends see every one of your posts. Does anybody know the percentage? When you post something, how many of your friends see that?
I'm going to guess 26%.
It's 7.
7%?
7%. Yep. And then as soon as somebody comments on that, it opens it up. And if they comment quickly, it opens it up really quickly. And if they comment slowly, it opens it up more slowly. So, but when they watch a Facebook Live knocks on your shoulder and says, "Hey, your friend's live." That doesn't happen on a post, does it? When does a post say, "Hey, Karie just posted something really great, you should go look at it"? Not unless you tell it to do that. So that's why you want to have stuff in your feed that's healthy every day. And then when you post a Facebook Live, then it draws them, and then your healthy posts start showing up. All right. Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that piece there. Back to you, Karie.
So a couple of strategies that have accidentally been pretty cool, specifically toward health. And I've seen Irving do it, Rita, Dawn, Craig, with interviews with people. Kind of the 2 categories I think of would be a client who may or may not be interested in coaching, but definitely is not said, "Hey, I want to coach." And with that, I'm the host. And to start a Facebook Live, you click the little live button. I think Craig has gone over this before, and we can go over it at the end if you need help with that part. But you go live, and when you invite that person, I have had success with scheduling a time versus, hey, let's do it right now. And that's my personality. I'm a planner. But knowing that they're going to start watching your live video, and you invite them, they join in, pop up. And the purpose is to share their story with the cases that I've done. You want to kind of coach them in kind of keeping it somewhat shorter. I like to shoot for 5 to 7 minutes, and the goal being have them start empathizing, giving it where they were before you got connected, and then bringing them to a point where they could possibly be awakening people that are watching. And with that, I'm hosting it, they're in it, so it will go to both of our people, but more to mine. And then I follow up on the comments and the likes. And part of that can also be planting seeds for coaching with your client. Say, look at all these people that you're impacting and affecting. How cool would that be? Blah, 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 blah. So you kind of get that idea. Another way that we've done it is with somebody who is interested in exploring coaching, or I'm interested in having them on my team, or a new coach. And it could be an existing coach also. But in that case, I have them start the call, and I join in. That way their face is the big one out there, and it goes to more of their people. And that was done on accident with one of my clients. And we couldn't get it to work on my end. So I said, hey, you start the call, I'll join in. And it was cool because she was the highlight of the call. And it was kind of fun. But again, with coaching in mind, those people are kind of casting out a net to see who in their world has been watching or might be interested in the program. But this similar purpose as far as they're sharing their story, and they're finding a way to empathize with people who are watching and bringing them to a point where they might be wanting to join. And then there's a lot of coaching in the back as far as how to respond and set up 3-way calls. And that has been fun because I want to say 100% of the people have been amazed by the response of people that are watching. Oh, I didn't realize that many people were paying attention, or that many people would be interested. Like, people are looking and they want it. And it's an invitation for connection. And like Craig was saying, as far as the comments go, sometimes I will have a little more strategy. If it's a post that isn't getting a lot of views right away, I'll stagger my responses to comments so that it will keep coming up in the feed, versus just commenting on my own video over and over again. That is kind of weird. But I don't know. That's a couple ways that we have used it to be beneficial in the interview aspect. And I don't know, spreading the word that way. Did you have anything you want to add to that, Craig?
No, I just want to stop and have people unmute or raise their hand, and we'll just answer a few questions. Irv, go ahead, Irv.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, after Karie had started that whole thing, Rita and I tried it, and Rita was the facilitator. She had the big screen and I had the small one. And I can't remember how many people, how many hits she had, but I thought it was going to go viral. It was just off the chain. And then when she made the announcement a couple of days later that she had decided to become a coach, it just went crazy. And she, in her first week, she enrolled 2 people, and she's been setting up assessments ever since based off of her initial 2 Facebook Live videos based on the way that Karie had set that up. I thought we had screwed it up. You remember, after you and I had a kind of an after action, and it was like, man, I think I screwed this up. But then I said, looking back on it, on Rita's, looking at her numbers, it was like, if we screwed it up, we screwed up real good. It was good.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Exactly it. Dawn, what did you have to say?
Well, one of the other things I've noticed that Karie does that's really powerful is sometimes before she'll have the Facebook Live, she'll post kind of a before and now of that particular person she's going to be interviewing, and kind of announce that, hey, later this week or later today or whatever, I'm going to be interviewing so-and-so, and you know, you got to hear her story. It's so amazing, whatever. So kind of giving a little, kind of a little tease out there, just getting people interested in what's coming up. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, Karie, did you? Because I have an action item. I wanna toss out to people. In there, you get two options. But did you have something else? Anything else to share?
Well, it's not completely tied in with the live, but Donna had mentioned it before. Also, kind of a strategy for people who are interested in exploring coaching, where I'll ask them to post my before and after and tag me and start interaction that way. And it's kind of been a part of the sequence too. And then a couple days later, they can kind of see what it would be like to maybe post their own. And that can tie in with the Facebook Live. And like you were saying, Irving, with Rita, when they announce, even during that interview, that they've decided to pay it forward, that can be another connection for people to be like, oh, so somebody actually know and like, because they're watching you, can give me some answers. So I like that you guys did that. It's a good reminder.
By the way, the things that Karie is talking about, Karie didn't create. She's showcasing them because she's used them, and if you use them, you'll have success. And these are all on the social media tool where they talk about having somebody that you would like to work with post your story, then a couple days later maybe post their own story, and then go in and do a live with them. And so I wonder who the person, if you were to think of all the clients that you have, some of you have been coaching for a while, you may have a lot, but if you actually look at your actual clients and you said, who do I think is great? Who do I love working with? And then you just did that. Hey, will you post my picture, tag me in it on your page? You know, just talking about, you know, you can share your story with them about how you had success with this program and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then your picture, and then tag you in it. So then you'll get a notification every time somebody chats on there, and then have them do it. And then showcase them in a Facebook Live, right? So it's three things. And I'm telling you, if you do that, the likelihood that they become awakened. When I ask people, who do you know that wants to lose weight? Almost everybody says nobody. Because when is that ever something you are thinking about? It's like weird. Who do you know that wants to buy a Ford pickup? I have no idea, right? But when you go out there and you post it on there, all of a sudden they go, oh my goodness, all these people are interested. I had no idea. And then all of a sudden their eyes become awakened, and you're like, well, who's going to help these people, you or me? We have I can train you. I can help you coach. I can help you coach your first 5 people, and then it'll teach you how to coach the rest of them. You want to do it? And you get a lot of yeses. Mm-hmm. You get 100% more yeses than the ones you never asked that question to. Those are all no's, right? If you don't ask for it, you'll never get a yes. So any other questions about that? If you've never done a Facebook Live, can I, not for your own sake, but for the sake of other people that are like you used to be? Maybe some of us have forgotten because we've become fairly confident and secure with how great we feel, and we've forgotten what it feels like to be that other way. Remember that? Crappy, slow, sluggish, fat, grumpy, sleepy. Remember that? It's like the whole dwarves, the right? And now we feel great, and yet what's keeping us from being bold about spreading the virus of Optavia around, as the lady said on the call. So if you think about it, and what I would like you to do, is when you do your Facebook Live, go into the Optimal Health Coach page for accountability. So we know you did it, and so you know you did it, and so then we can dogpile on you and go watch it and tell you what we thought or how great it was, if it was great. We'll tell you it was bad, but not. Anyway, so you go and do the Facebook Live, and then you post that you did it, maybe even share a link to it on the Optimal Health Coach page. And is there anybody here that's unwilling to do that this week? You're unwilling? Okay. If you don't have any clients, obviously, then you're not a coach yet. Okay, fair enough. Right? So what we can do with you, Jose, is how about you get interviewed by your coach? Right? And you can do that. So you can either be interviewed or interviewed. For the rest of us that are coaches, just find one person. Find one of your clients that you just think are great. And go talk to them and have them share their story. What was life? Here's the 3 questions you mainly want to catch. What was life like before the program? How'd you feel? Tell me more about that. Oh, that sounds horrible. Now, how did you feel? What's your progress been up to this point? So it's before, and then it's from the time you started until now. And then what are you working on next? Those 3 things: before, current, and next. And have them go into detail about how that was before. Don't just say, I didn't feel very good. How did you not feel good? Well, I had chronic fatigue. I slept all the time. I never had energy for my kids. I couldn't bend over and tie my shoes, whatever it is, right? And then now we're progress. I've lost 100 pounds, whatever it is. And here's how my energy is. And here's what I'm working on next. I'm working on getting strong. I'm working on training for a marathon or a 5K or whatever it might be. So it's before, now, and next. Rita.
My 2 clients just started today. So is it okay if I give them this whole week and do one next week?
Well, what you could do is, why don't you interview them about what they're excited about as they get started, and then in a week you can ask them what's changed.
Okay. Thank you.
They're going to be really clear about how sucky it is. Right? It's current. They just have all hope and no results.
Right.
But the results are coming. You're awesome, Rita. Thank you for that question. And thank you for just saying,
I know her answer's okay.
I know. I love that answer.
It's awesome.
Oh, it's so incredible. All right, guys. So hopefully you will take me up on that. I dare you. If you want to help people, this will do it. So pick just one person, one of your clients that you really think are great, and say, hey, will you share my story, or can we share your story? Okay?
Can I add something real quick? I guess I already am. But like you said, dogpiling on after you've put on our coach's page that you did it, dogpiling could look like going and commenting on the video and even encouraging that client, because that will show our community too, and the coaches, oh wow, our coaches have fun, we're here for each other. So, and it gets that circulated out to more people too. But just kind of wanted to emphasize or define your dog.
Yep.
Pile.
Define your dog pile. I like that. That happens a ton. You go comment, oh man, I loved your story. This is great. I loved when you said this. And then they go, who are these people that love me?
Well, can I add something?
Oh, of course.
Another thing that I heard another coach encourage was, if you see a coach posting a before and after picture, and then you go in the comments and say, oh my gosh, yes, I love this, and I lost whatever pounds, it just kind of validates that story in that it's not just that one little incident, it's like this whole community that's getting healthy together. So I think that can be really powerful.
It's huge. Yeah, it's absolutely huge. Okay, guys. So you got I think we had a great concise training here, and I just want to dare you. So the second thing I said, you could do things. If you're too afraid to do it, then will you call? You promise, just call your coach or text them and say, I'm afraid. And let's talk about what that's afraid, and let's help you through that. Right? Let's figure that out. Because if you don't do it, people won't feel like they won't have a chance to have what you have. And that's not generous, actually. That's actually selfish. And I know you guys are not selfish. Don't be selfish with this. Be generous. Okay, guys? We'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, tomorrow night at 5:30, I will be hosting the Habits of Health webinar for this week, 5:30 Pacific, and it's on mechanics versus mindset. Mechanics are 20%, mindset is 80. So if you are struggling or you know somebody that's struggling because they can't stick to the 5 and 1, the 5 and 1 will not make anybody healthy. That's all the mechanics of it.
That tomorrow or Wednesday?
That'd be Wednesday at 5:30. Yep. If I said tomorrow, I was joking.
See if you're paying attention.
Yes. See you guys next time. Take care, everybody.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.